Night.
Oh
Good.
boy.
People
Wow.
see us.
Wow.
Oh no.
For the
Well,
last time.
Wow.
Except for next
Oh.
time when we do a Q&A. Well, everyone, welcome to the last game session of Descent into Avernus. Wow, this has just been a spectacular journey with some of the most fantastic people that I have the privilege to game with. And leading you on this last crusade against the forces of darkness and chaos, your storyteller, Sage.
Oh, and hello, my name is Celeste Konowich, and I am your newly angelic tiefling wizard, Melody. Oh boy, ready to die. Born ready to die. Let's do it.
No, you're going to save us all.
Hello there, friends. I'm JB. Today, I'll be playing Lord Roland Belran Dan Cadrill, your war cleric of Kellamvor.
Hi, I'm Katie. I'm going to be playing Kaylee Bramblebarrel, your halfling monk.
Hey there, friends. It's Naseem, and I'm playing your dwarven fighter, Eroni's Dohard.
Good evening. I am Paul, and I will be portraying Calvin Coleridge, your Fire Genasi artificer.
Oh boy.
Very good.
Sorry, I'm changing the fact that we're playing. Let's not playing. Let Dream Daddy.
God damn it. I wanted it to say Dream Daddy forever. That's why I didn't change it, clearly.
Daddy version of D&D.
I'm sorry. I'll change it back.
That's my prank. Haha.
Hey, you can
last
still find your
episode.
dream daddy in hell.
Yeah. He's a scary daddy.
Allanthias is a pretty dreamy daddy.
The bad daddy.
Well, it's alright to be my daddy. It's fine.
Oh, I know what kind of game this is gonna be. But before we do that, we should recap what happened last time.
Oh god. Wow. Okay. So last time we started in the chapel, which is inside the Bleeding Citadel. Basically, we had just wrapped up a fight and we got pulled into this door by this like super angelic woman's voice, and we're like, "Oh, cool." So we started in this chapel, and then this pretty lady came out and she was like, "Oh, wow, like I've been hiding here." And Yael is her name, right? She was one of Zariel's generals, and now she's here as a ghost? Yeah, okay. So she's a ghost now here in the chapel, and basically she's like, "I've protected the sword of Zariel here in hopes that somebody, a brave hero, would come along and use it to do good and stuff." And Allanthias was there too, and he's like, "Oh my god, Yael, I love you. Wow, it's so good that you're still alive." She's like, "Yay." And then we had to learn more about Zariel. We had to like go into a weird vision state where basically we saw like the final moments before Zariel's corruption, and we got booped to this town that was being overrun by gnolls, and basically like they were like, "Oh no, Zariel's gonna come to save us," but she was super late, so we had to step in there and kill some gnolls and kill some snack gnolls and get inside a temple. And basically just as we're like, "Oh, we're gonna be safe inside here," Yeenagu, the demon prince of gnolls and chaos and death, showed up, and we fought Yeenagu, and we actually did pretty well considering he has like 8 billion hit points. And the whole time, like, this statue of Zariel was, like, zapping him in the middle. And then eventually a big portal opened, and Zariel rode out with all of our knights and paladins and shit and was like, "Oh, no, sorry we're late. Thanks for handling that, dudes." And then she turned around and she asked us each, like, "Would you do the same thing if you were in my spot or whatever?" Asking about honor. And most people were like, "Yeah." And then Melody's like, "Hell no, you suck." And Zariel's like, "Cool, I'm going to give you a boon." And then they disappeared, and we all got back into the big chapel, and there was basically a big discussion because the sword of Zariel was there on the altar, and we're all going, "Okay, who's gonna take the sword?" Because basically we knew there was gonna be some sort of big sacrifice to whoever like picked up this sword. So we were all kind of fighting amongst each other about who should do it or who shouldn't do it. And the Malady was just like, you know what, like I don't have anything to live for. Literally my whole quest has happened already, so I'm gonna take the sword and just end this issue. And then she booped over and grabbed the sword and became like a crazy angel holy version of herself. And then that's basically what happened.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. Yeah, as you all entered into the Bleeding Citadel, Yael cured what madness and infliction that Lulu still suffered, unlocking the rest of her memories and powers, and you all were transported once again, it's like a theme in this game, into one of Lulu's memories to learn about what was the final straw that led to Zariel's downfall, and it was Yunagu sending his forces descending onto the town of Idle Glen, and as she like Sparta kicked him back to hell through the portal that she summoned, each gave each of you a wonderful boon. To M, she gave the charm of restoration, and to the rest of you, the charm of vitality. And so M gave her a big ol' what's what, which was absolutely wonderful. And yeah, after seeing M take the sword and transforming into this vaguely humanoid radiant burst of light containing like the words of God and holiness, you are all standing within the Bleeding Citadel after, as M began to transform, this burst of light shot through the temples, emitting to the outside. And now through these stained glass windows, you can actually see outside of them into the surrounding area. The scab that has been covering the Bleeding Citadel has been blown away, and all of the demons that were tunneling through this putrid landscape were blasted to nothingness. And so you all stand here with M, and you see Anthias reaches out a hand as you see Yael's form twinkle and dissipate. And he says, "May I see you on the other side?" And you see the last spectral hand reach out for him. And Lulu begins to weep openly. And you hear her crying, "Oh, now I'll never get to redeem Zariel, and she'll never be good again, and that was my last hope, and what?" And she's just like, just heaving sobs, a mess on the ground. What do you all do?
Little buddy, and I go up to Lulu and try to like pet their trunk. It's okay.
Appa will clank over and softly wail song into Lulu's vacuous ear.
I think at this point, because Malady picked up the sword, and now she was like a swirling ball of words and energy, and sort of realizes that she needs a real form. So she's gonna like put a foot down on the ground as the radiance kind of like goes smaller and becomes more definitely tiefling, but like a foot taller, and like just purple head to toe, and like has these kind of glittering motes of like angelic whatever around her. And she's also like buffed out in this like armor now that's got like spikes and all this crazy crap on it and this gleaming white. And I think she strides over with the sword and kind of stands over Lulu and says, "Do not worry, small friend. We shall take care of you. You are a noble steed once, and you can be noble again."
She sniffs. "Really?"
"Yes. Now, small one, stand up. We have evil to fight.
And she like gets up on her little feet and she kind of stamps them. She's like, yeah, you right. And you know, she hasn't been a good friend for a long time. And you all have been. And I want to fight with you.
That is
High
honorable.
five, Lulu.
Yeah.
She smacks it with her trunk.
Perfect. Yes.
Oh. Well then, shall we?
So, what are we gonna do?
I mean, we got an angel friend now. Can't you just like float us all on over to where we need to go?
We are not capable of carrying all of you. I could carry one, perhaps.
And Anthias says, I still have my carriage, and I will transport you all wherever you need to go, should you choose.
Well, it seems to me the people of El Terrell cannot be kept waiting. We should move there as quickly as possible.
Definitely, Angel M.
Oh, our name is no longer M. It is Melody.
Cool. All right, Melody. Let's rock.
There's a clank, clank, clank as Roland throws down this great sword and it skitters in the hall here across the tile. And he and like boots something over and screams for a moment. And you see like his chest and his shoulders are shaking underneath his armor. And he says, all right, fine. He takes a deep breath, like a shuddery breath. And he says, I don't know, pointing to this angelic being, how much of M you really are. But I hope this is what she really wanted.
This one you call M is still here. She is safe. But, for now, I think it is time for Melody to run the show.
Haley's like standing behind Roland and she's just like got eyes welled up with tears but she looks fucking angry staring over at her, and she's like, are you gonna give her back later? Because she's just a girl. She's 18. And she was supposed to get her soul back and go on and be an 18-year-old.
Your time doesn't mean anything to me, but I suppose I understand the sentiment. I cannot make any promises. There is business to be done and battles to be fought. If we survive this, perhaps.
Well, I guess for now, take good care of her, all right? Because... Sorry, every time I want to talk, someone just has to race on by.
It's all those infernal war machines just zipping
zipping
across the
by.
ledge.
Mad Maggie just going ham out there.
I have a voice too. Anyway, she may not have felt like a part of the crew, but she was still one of us, and we just hope she's okay in there. We're counting on you to watch after her.
We will do our best. That is
All right.
all we can promise.
All right, then. Well, you gonna leave this here then, Roland? I'm pointing to the sword on the floor.
Roland hoists the shield off of his back again and kind of affixes it to his arm tighter. He very nearly got destroyed that last fight from throwing it down so that he could fight more earnestly. And he'll say, as he's strapping it to his arm to you, use it. Use it with my blessing.
It's a good steal.
Oh, well, thanks, my friend. I'll use it well. He hucks it over his shoulder and like starts feeling all big.
Hell yeah. And so as you all are sort of getting yourselves ready to go, Allanthias will remind you all, and he will say that, well, rescuing El Terrell will certainly not be an easy thing. From what I know of the Lady Zariel's plans, it is a sort of twofold aspect. We must break the chains that are binding the city to the surface of Avernus, and the companion must also be destroyed. The great black orb that you saw encompassing the city. There are numerous avenues that we could take to do this.
Oh, wait, these will help with that, right? And Calvin pulls the key, like, pins out of his backpack.
Yes, those are the locks on the equator of the companion. There are slots where these can be fit in. Once all 9 of them are put back in place, the companion will be released.
Oh, that sounds too easy.
Of course, breaking the chains will be no easy matter. It would take great amounts of force, and considering that there are 8 of them.
Well, what plans do you have in mind? Tell them to us so we may decide.
Well, depending on how you would like to go about the situation, there is Tiamat. Her jaws could break these chains. Of course, that would require making a deal with her, which I know is not exactly appealing to this group.
I do not believe that is an option.
The Crocatoic, the creature that we saw outside of the scab who was released, he could also, well, if tempted, could break the chains. It would require the blood of a celestial, though, to tempt this demon.
Would I count
The other one.
as that? Just a quick question.
Oh, sorry, what was that?
Would I count as that? Just a quick question. I don't think I'm a celestial creature type.
No,
Okay.
I don't think so. But Lulu does say, well, if that's our best option, I would be willing to do that.
We also know where a unicorn is.
So we would save a poor unicorn just to cut it open and let it bleed?
Oh, that's not good.
That's
Yes.
not great.
That was my retirement plan.
The unicorn is a noble celestial beast. I'm sure it would understand that it was dying valiantly for a good cause.
And Allanthias says, perhaps Madame Mooncolor might appreciate an end to being trapped in an orb, even if that means death. However, there is another option. If the contract is broken, in order for that to happen, Zariel would need to willingly relinquish it or to die while in the 9 hells. She is a intelligent woman, and she would accept an exchange.
What do you think would be acceptable to offer?
I do not claim to know.
What about some boomsticks? What if we just get some mini nukes or a lot of dynamite and blast those dang chains further into hell?
My friend, I think you underestimate the strength of infernal iron.
I'm just trying to come up with some solutions that doesn't require sacrificing a little mammoth or a unicorn. Ugh.
What
Can't
about
we
the
just-
demon that we already freed? Is there any way we can get? Do you think he got his hammer back? Would
The
that
Stitchy?
break the chains?
The stitching.
I'm sure
Yeah.
he's probably been slain by now.
Oh,
What's wrong with killing Zariel?
But that hammer, though.
It would be extremely difficult. She is no mere devil.
We did have considerable help fending off Inogu. I don't imagine we will have such help with Zariel.
As much as I would like to see Zariel suffer, it might be in vain for us to go directly to her before ensuring that El Terrell is free. For if she were to perish, or we were to perish, that mission would not be accomplished, and even so, another would simply rise to her seat.
Yes. She did unseat Bel when Asmodeus deemed her Lord of Avernus. There are many who clamor to take her place.
All right, so it seems kind of pointless anyway then.
Quite.
What would it require, cutting these chains? What sort of forces are we looking at?
One might say they have an AC of 19 on each link in the infernal chain. Yes, as you all inspected them when you all were making your descent from via hot air balloon, you know, each link in a chain is about 30 feet long and 5 feet thick. So, yeah, to be meta, they have an AC of 19. Each link has 250 hit points
Wow,
and has damage threshold of 30.
that's rough.
Ugh,
Okay, we could not do that.
those numbers are high.
You would have to
So-
do that at least 8 times.
So, Tiamat then.
How's she doing this time
Yeah.
of year?
What's her deal again?
That is such a bad
We have
idea.
to make a deal with her. We either make a
I'm-
deal with a devil, I assume it's a devil, or kill something.
Yeah, what was the Krakatoa? What was-
If a celestial being were to sacrifice themselves to accomplish this task, could we not merely resurrect them?
At this point, actually, the little hatch in Appa's back creaks open, and Roby wobble flies out because it's familiar, and those are celestial, right?
But when they go to
They are
zero,
not
I
made
don't
of
think
flesh
they
and blood.
die.
Yeah.
No,
They're made out of pure
okay.
magical force.
Like where your head's at, though.
All right, all right.
So, Lulu it is.
Oh,
Oh, jeez.
Don't you have
Oh,
healing capabilities? I look at you, Roland.
Yep.
yep.
Well then, it
I'm
seems our
willing
course
to
is set.
do what needs to be done.
And you are noble indeed for your sacrifice. It seems our path is set.
Roland will
Take a
kneel down
sacrifice.
in front of Lulu and put his gauntleted hand on, like, between her eyes and rub her head.
And say, oh, Lulu, don't worry. No matter what, even if it takes an adventure after we leave Avernus that takes 2 to 5 weeks, I will see to it that you are restored if we do go this route. Pet, pet, pet.
Well, I appreciate that, but I'm just glad that I got all my memories back in time to remember you all.
That's
Oh.
very cheesy, but I appreciate it, Lulu.
He rubs the trunk.
And says, you're a good honey font. You really, really are.
And she kind of like wriggles around and like underneath your gauntlet as you like pet her.
Oh.
Mm.
They'll do a little tiny cut. It will take as little as possible.
Well, speaking of, how do we do this? What is the best way to lure this beast? Do you have any experience doing something like this?
I personally do not. We would have to slather her blood on the chains to make a enticing meal of them. We would have to go one chain at a time because the blood needs to be fresh.
I see. Well, I could certainly accomplish that task. I say as my, giant wings flare out from behind me.
So does that mean that we have to first go find this guy and bring him out and lure him out? Where are they?
Fortunately, it's rather large, if you recall the teeth in the face within the teeth.
The teeth
I'd
and
rather not.
the faces
Thank
with
you,
the teeth that have
Oh,
teeth
it's
with
that
faces.
guy.
Yeah, the one, he's actually
Yes.
right outside. Super convenient.
Mhm.
Well, he got blasted away from the light, so probably off causing chaos somewhere else.
Yeah. Well, perhaps we could
Alright.
even, for safeguarding, divide the blood and then divide the chains. The angel has no facial expressions whatsoever and does not seem bothered by the idea of rubbing the blood of a tiny elephant on chains. Because Celestials, man.
Man, I didn't think I would miss him, but
Calvin's getting more and more uncomfortable with how this plan is going, and is just kind of sitting over away from the group a little bit, tinkering with Appa, and kind of trying not to pay attention to this horrible but effective plan that's being wrought right now.
As always, Tiamat.
Roland holds his hands up.
If Lulu
Or
is...
we can try to parley with Zariel, maybe just one of us.
If Lulu is willing to sacrifice herself for this noble cause, I don't see why you should deny her that right.
You're a
Really?
horrible person, Melody.
Thank
I-
you. Angels
Kaylee
don't
just
get
makes,
sarcasm. I'm just gonna read that. I'm just gonna think that right now. Sarcasm is for evil people.
Ugh. Yeah, Kaylee just makes the most disgusted, blatant face ever. Ugh.
right. Well, if everyone else is going along with this thing, I guess I'm gonna hang back here and let you all take on the cutting and the letting and I can't participate. I'm sorry. I'll stand guard.
Friend, there
Well,
will be many devils and demons trying to kill us. It might be a death sentence for the rest of our companions if you
I
hang
do
back here.
believe Erroneous is speaking of exsanguinating our friend Lulu, not of the fight to the chains.
Yeah, I'll give my sword and my axe and all of that good stuff, but I'm gonna turn my back on the gore that will be taking place to cut them chains,
I see.
if you don't mind.
That is no problem to me. Are we ready to move?
And Allanthias gestures to all of you. Well, outside then. And you all can make your way back through this sort of line of marble columns that lead you to these large marble doors. And just as you press a hand against them, they disappear and you're able to move through them as if through magic. And as you all step outside back into Avernus, you hear the din of battle ripple across this desolate landscape, and you see that the sky has become darkened as these large crow-like demons are flying overhead, and you see that El Tyrell is merely hours away from being dragged and pulled into the river. As you see demons gush forth, and you see that the legions of demons from underneath are running up to meet them. And you see in the center of this battlefield, probably just a mile away, is the fallen angel Zariel, who, now that you can see her in person, she has this grayish pale skin and no hair, completely bald, and she has these dark circles around her eyes that drip forward on her cheeks. And she has this huge fuck off hammer, and you see that she is just defeating demons left and right, easily dispatching them as she is just almost in this blood frenzy, leading her forces. You hear Lulu. Yep, that's where she always liked to be. Heat of the battle.
Oh, boy.
Lulu, have some pudding. It's the least I can do. She just pats her back and opens a pudding cup.
Their weird elephant tongue. It's like,
You
Gross.
want to get high? Go away.
One more for the road.
Exactly. Okay, we need to know, how many blunts does
Oh, yeah,
Heronius
it's the
have
last game.
left?
How many have we gotten through?
So many more. I mean, I started with 144, so I've smoked a fair bit. I have 97 left.
Wow.
Wow. God,
You
did
just
we
like
both-
pat-
Jesus Christ.
I've been
smoke
passing
them
them
out.
out. Yeah.
Put them all in like one big package and just smoke them out so they all get really stoned before we go into
Oh,
battle.
yeah,
Drop that
we-
bomb.
Up to the battlefield.
Yeah. Hell yeah. And you also see your good old friend Kostici trying to wade his way through these forces, screaming, "I want my hammer!" as he's trying to make his way to Zariel.
Me too.
It's really cool. And so Allanthias will lead you all to his carriage as his Gorgons are patiently waiting to pull you.
Good boys.
They're so good.
I obviously pluck up Lulu like a beach ball, just like and carry her around, like held between the shield and my armor, because she's slow.
Mhm.
Is she cute though?
I will have a hard time getting in this carriage with my freaking 15-foot wingspan.
Right on top, girlfriend.
Yeah,
The
on
carriage.
top.
The carriage seems to almost expand as you all get in.
Oh,
that
that's
it's now
nice.
as it's getting a little bit more crowded.
That was
Good
a
magic
stretch
shit.
limo. That's good.
Mm-hmm. Man, when you're high up.
It's nice.
All right, so you all take off with the landscape of Avernus blurring past you as you blast towards these chains. And you all make it to sort of the left side. And so that there are 4 on kind of the bottom half. Then there's like this mile-wide river Styx. And then there's 4 on the sort of top half. And you see it is just pure chaos, and Allanthias has to steer left, right, dodging these sudden explosions and blasts of fire, and as these puffs of smoke blare out before you, and you have to cough as it enters your lungs to cough out the harmful effects. And he says to you all, as you quickly come to a halt, "I will do what I can to protect you. It may be that because of my subservience to Zariel that I may be forced to turn against you. I am not sure. I have not been in this position before. But until then, I will do all that I can to assist you." And the carriage door pops open.
Thanks for all your help.
Indeed.
If I don't see you again, you're a really nice guy.
You have
Really hope-
made you have made some steps towards redemption, and for that you should be praised.
You should be, but it won't be from me.
I said steps.
He kind of laughs when he hears Melody say this. He's like, I merely hope that my soul may be laid to rest one day.
It will be.
Like Roland lingers in the door, like half in.
I'll see to it. I promise.
Thank you, friends. And you see, as you all can step out of the carriage, he steps out behind you, and the Gorgons pull the carriage away, and you see in a flash, they're immediately gone. Well then, shall we?
Yep.
Oh, gee.
You
Lulu.
okay, Sage? Do we need to take a moment?
You see Lulu between your shield and your arms is just kind of kicking her legs, like beep, 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 beep.
Stop it.
My
Stop
hands
being
on
cute.
my hands supporting her with a gauntlet on her warm, soft belly,
Shut.
holding her
you
against
two.
me with her little yellow fur.
Melody will reach out a big purple gauntleted hand to take Lulu from you.
Pass.
Mhm.
Unless,
He looks to Lulu.
do you want to go with the angelic being?
Scratch, scratch, scratch.
Okay.
I don't
Right.
know who else could get you to those chains as quickly. Unless you too have angelic wings, friend, that I'm not seeing.
Oh, burn.
It could happen. You don't know me.
He passes the Holifant and says,
Good luck going in front. We'll be behind you, I suppose.
As we prefer it.
Bye, Lulu. We'll see you again someday.
Before they take off, I'm just gonna stuff a blunt in her trunk and like take it or leave it. You could drop it, just
Good Lord.
fly high, little friend.
As you're stuffing this smoldering blunt into her snout, I'm going to cast Death Ward on her as an action. So the next time she drops to 0 hit points or is killed outright, she will instead drop to 1 hit point, and the spell ends.
Oh, cool. Ronnie, let's take a point of inspiration for your flyby.
Your safety blunt.
Thanks.
Yeah, I
And
mean, so
so-
in terms of like, yeah, how do we get there? What's the what are we
Yeah,
dealing
so the
with?
chains themselves, they are. You see that the El Tyrell is about 100 feet above you, and you hear every minute a crank as all the chains pull, and the land begins to just drop further towards the river Styx. Anchoring El Tyrell to the land, you see are these huge iron-like anchors that stand about 30 feet high, and so they're about 12 huge chain links on each of these 8 chains. So you would only have to fly up about 30 feet before you would get to the first one. So not even that. And with your wings, you can hover.
Sweet. And how far from the chains are? Like, I'm just wondering how many. Like, what's the ground to demon to devil ratio? You know, between this and chains.
Yeah. So he dropped you off basically at the base of the first one.
Oh shit. Okay, he did good. All right, we got pulled up.
But you are surrounded in a sea of devils, and they are just sort of running past you, not seeming to pay any mind, as they are just dealing with this onslaught that is just raining from the skies and directly above from El Tyrell.
Cool. Then it sounds like we should do this right now, before they notice us. Yeah. So Melody will look around and go, "Well, shall we begin? I'm sure we shall attract a great deal of attention once we start."
Okay.
All right. Well then, let's do this.
And I imagine the four of us take up positions around the anchor to keep things from crawling up there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Can it do the Avengers thing where it goes like around us as we're around
Yeah.
the anchor? All these demons
Hell
are
yeah.
everywhere.
Zoom pan around with the dolly. Yeah, and you see off in the distance, not too far, like coming up like a hippo from the Nile. You see Krakatoak just like with its opens its great maw, and you see more like just demons just pour out of it.
God. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna get up on this chain. I'm gonna give Lulu a little cut and get this going. Can she be
What do you
big?
use?
Yeah, like I don't know what.
Oh, yeah, she could transform into
Because
a.
then she'd have more
large
blood.
mammoth.
Is what Melody would say. Like transform so we can optimize your blood loss.
Okay. And you see she squints her eyes really tight for a second, and you hear like a poof, as all of a sudden she goes whoosh, and she turns into this great large, regular like in African bull elephant sized creature with these huge wings, just like it offers you like a leg.
I know that you said, but I could not help but picture a squeaky toy. Like,
Well, I don't think I want to use the sword of Zariel because that would really fuck everyone up. So I'll just use a dagger. Cool old school dagger, and just get in there and like, I don't know. Does anyone have a bucket?
Shouting to the chains. Does anyone have a bucket?
Does anyone have a bucket?
Yes. Calvin like sadly admits.
Okay, I'll grab the bucket before I go up, and then I'll do a stab, and I'll fill up my bucket, and just fly up there and start covering some chains.
Yeah, so you start covering the links of the chains with the celestial blood, and you hear Lulu go, "Hey, demon boy, get your tasty gnomes!" Am I doing this right?
You're doing great.
Wiggle your hindquarters. They like that.
They like that.
She's like hovering with her wings and like,
Lulu, don't degrade yourself in your last moment.
You sound like an old woman trying to seduce a young man.
She's Tree Trunks. It's fine.
Tree Trunks is frightening, though.
She is frightening.
That's what Lulu becomes in her old age.
Oh God.
Come get your tasty knives.
Good Lord.
The scariest thing in hell. Lulu
Horrifying.
catfishing these
Uh,
Ooh, all right. And so Melody takes her bucket of blood, splashes it on there.
I think it
Lulu.
also looks extra horrible because my pure like white angel wings are being splattered in like celestial holophant blood.
How many hit points of damage would you like to deal to Lulu?
Oh well,
Sage and or Celeste.
we have 8 chains. So can I get an 8th?
It's like 6?
That'd be 5-ish.
5. Yeah, we'll say she has around 40.
Blood.
I hate everything that's happening.
And so as Krakatoak finishes puking up a fresh horde of demons onto the banks, you see just the top of its mouth, its little nose starts to and it turns its attention towards you all as it smells fresh blood. And you see this creature the size of a blue whale immediately begins galloping over towards these chains, running over devils in its wake, crushing them underneath its vast weight. And this Ma that you had seen before you had stepped right in front of becomes rushing towards you all. And you see it immediately goes and starts clamoring and biting at the chains.
Go, next one.
Yeah, how far till the
Next.
next one? How many devils in between us and the next
Yeah.
game?
Let's go ahead and roll some initiative.
That sounds fair. Okay. Oh boy.
Oh, that's so low for me.
Sage, would you like me to have Lulu go at the end of my turn for simplicity's sake?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, which dice should I roll? Oh, purple, big purple. Yeah.
Calvin got a 7.
Natural 20.
Oh, Melody's that bitch.
Okay, so that's actually going to be a 26 with all my angel crap.
I get a 13 for Kaylee.
Heronius?
7.
7!
Calvin, is your dex higher? You're pretty dexy, right?
His dexterity is 2.
What's yours, Heronius?
Sorry. What did you ask?
What's your dexterity, Heronius?
Mod is 2. Or
Yes.
Which of the
What's your number? Mine's 14.
14.
which of the two of you would like to go first?
Dear God.
You can go first, Calvin.
Okay. Sounds good.
You're welcome.
And Roland?
16.
Ooh, fast boy.
Well then, Melody with the natural 20, you see this great huge demon barrel towards you. You see the next chain is 100 feet away. They're each spaced 100 feet apart on the bottom side and on the top side. And then it's, quite a distance to get to the other side of the river Styx.
Okay, so 100 feet between chains. And what kind of action is it for me to smear Chains' blood? What's that action economy look like?
I would say that could be your
Standard?
your
Yeah.
it's an action to use an object, so I would say it would be an action to use your bucket. Smear it on.
Sick. I think a Melody will also call down and say, I can make it to the chains very quickly, but perhaps I could take one of you with me. And I'm going to look at our small friends. So I could probably lift Heronius, or I could probably lift Kaylee. Maybe.
I'm pretty fast too if anything happens to you.
I can fly 90 feet.
Well, I can run 50 feet, but I can be real speedy if I need to, and I can run up things vertically.
Okay, so do you want to come? Melody's basically asking
Like
if I
anything that's
grab you.
happening, but pick me up, lady.
Okay, all right, yeah, because I could use some help getting over there, because then that way I can like burn both my actions to get us there, and then like an up, and then you can do the blood if you want, and then that'd be cool.
Yeah, but I'd love to dump the blood of my friend. Yeah, let's do this.
Okay.
Let's go.
Great. Then I'm going to swoop down with my blood bucket. And I'm going to pick up Kaylee. And then I'm going to fly. You know what? Should I cast haste? Yeah. I'm going to cast haste on Kaylee and myself. And then, so there we go.
Nice.
Scoop, action, 90 feet. And then with my, what does haste do again? Get
Let's
a
do the
bonus.
AC.
Yeah,
if
what for
double movement.
Double movement? Okay, cool.
And you get an extra action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So haste, cool, action, get us over there. Boom. Boom, efficiency. Celestial efficiency.
Very nice. Let's see. All right, and then Roland. You see this great demon coming at you again. Well, not at you personally, but at this chain as it begins gnawing furiously at these links.
I'm imagining that I'm behind the anchor and it slams into the chain like it's coming for me and starts gnawing on it. So Roland would be like half behind the shield at first. So our celestial friend and Kaylee are headed off to the second chain with Bucket O' Blood.
We are 100 feet away.
Yes. My closest and dearest friend Lulu has 1 hit point. So what I'm going to do is cast Cure Wounds on our dear friend Lulu and say,
Stay close, Lulu.
even though she's flying, so that she will hover close enough to me to be within the glow of this helmet that I have been wearing.
So
Very
did we
cool.
take all the blood from her already and then she had her death ward moment? Okay.
Mhm. That's what I figured was happening since it was a bucket. There should be plenty. Yeah. That's going to be my turn. Now, I think that we have a situation here, so I'm going to call out to my 2 remaining companions.
We need to make it across the river.
And back away from this anchor.
They'll get to the chains before we can catch up.
He'll shout over the din of battle. On the end of my turn, Lulu, floating in the air with her yellow fuzziness and these giant wings, set of 4 wings, is actually going to heal herself with a Cure Wounds as well. She can do it twice per day.
What a good Holly fund.
Sweet.
And she'll beat us, basically, wherever we're going towards the river, but stay close enough that I can catch up on the next turn.
And so looking across the river, since the demons and devils are unaffected by the river Styx, by its effects of memory loss, so there are no bridges across. You can see that the only feasible way across is by climbing these chains and running across El Terrell. And that brings us to Kaylee. You're flying. You're being carried up in the air.
Set you on chain and hand you bucket.
I imagine Kaylee's holding the bucket as you're holding her under the armpits.
Oh yeah.
Just like angry
I'm
face
just
with
moving
a
you
blood
up and
bucket.
down.
Yeah. And she's just like 1/8. 1/8.
We're making cookies. We're making some blood cookies.
Yeah. So I mean, on her turn, if we're already in another chain, she's gonna pour some blood with her action.
Fantastic.
And as a bonus action, just in case, I'm gonna summon my astral arms and my mask to come down. So now it's just like these like floppy arms flying behind them too, just looking ridiculous, like deflated balloons.
So glowy.
They're like the wacky inflatable men.
Oh my god. This is a mess. This is a mess.
So
This is the definition of a mess.
Calvin.
Okay. We gotta make it across the river. Is there any stuff out here, or is it just like the anchor and the chain and then just demons as far as the eye can see?
So you see that the devils have constructed makeshift battlements, barbed wire trenches, all these sorts of things to trap these demons into and to like build up fortresses to try to funnel them. So there's lots of debris, metal, all sorts of kind of material lying around as you hear just people shouting in Infernal.
Shoot. All right. I'm looking for the Artificer make a boat ability, and I can't find it. All right.
get a foldable boat as one of your invocations or whatever?
Unfortunately, there is no infusion of boat manifestation.
Hmm.
As much as I would love that. Okay. How close is the demon to like eating through the chain?
So it'll take approximately a minute. So it's gonna have to knot for a while.
Okay. All right. Well, if that's going to take a minute, Calvin will grab some of these, some of this debris from one of these broken down towers, and with the Roby, start to work on like fashioning a raft using. I mean, it takes a minute to cast, but using mending and his own tools and things like that to try and jury rig something together.
Yeah, I would say because it is going to take a minute for Crocattack to chew through these chains, that initiative is kind of more loose. It doesn't have to be strictly action bonus action.
Okay.
It can be a little bit more loose if you all want to, like, this is like how we want to spend our round.
Okay. Yeah.
How we want to spend the next minute.
Cool. Then Calvin will do that, and Appa will be sort of bouncing back and forth between Hero and Roland, like looking out for any demons that are getting too close or devils to bork and alert them.
Very cool. Erroneous. How's Hero taking all this?
Hero is just really antsy to get this over with, a little panicked and doing his very best to not look up and see how the progress is of the chains, or if Lulu is really suffering or anything. He's just like, don't look up. So I think that not knowing, wait, okay. I haven't done this yet, and never mind. Okay. I got Find Familiar several levels back, and I have yet to use it.
Oh, it's 10
and I was like,
to summon, yeah.
it takes an hour.
Oh God.
Yeah. So I was thinking this final episode, this is the time to do it, but I completely missed the window. So God, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I guess any of the demons close enough to us for me to cast Thunderwave.
Oh yeah, you see that immediately, like funneling in towards you is a group of these baboon-like green-skinned demons who you had seen in Lulu's vision, as they are all starting to charge towards you, just indiscriminately swinging their claws, trying to destroy anything in their path.
Okay, then Thunderwave.
Yeah. And as you do your usual, yeah. What does it look like when Hero casts Thunderwave? What?
He probably just takes his weapon, hoists it up above his head, and with like a huge screaming growl, thrusts it down onto the floor, and from the flat end of the blade, smashes it into the ground, and then sparks ignite from it, then casting the Thunderwave from the tips of the sword. And they need to make a Constitution saving throw, please, of 15.
They fail.
Woohoo! All right, then they will take 6 thunder damage, and they will be pushed back 10 feet.
And you see this group of them that were all running towards you, and as your Thunderwave erupts from the tip of your sword, and they just fly back in this slow motion, explosive shot. And then...
Oh, and I get another action. Wait, yeah, right? Because I cast a spell. Or is it a cantrip?
It's a first level spell?
Yeah.
It was a spell. No,
yeah,
never mind.
Yeah.
Because I have the war magic thing, and that's only if I use a cantrip. Go ahead. Sorry.
Got it. That's right. And so, yeah, you see Crocoto continuing to gnaw furiously at this thing, trying to get at the taste of Celestial. And eventually, after about a minute or so, Calvin, you managed to create a little makeshift raft that could fit you all. And you see this first chain become sundered within its spiraling teeth. And you see El Terrell kind of like jolt back up and sort of struggle to level as one of these chains becomes broken. And for all of my friends here on the ground, I will need you all to make a dexterity saving throw as you see this group of these crow demons who you've seen before who assaulted your hot air balloon. You see that they just belch out this horrid green gas at you all.
Don't forget your blast.
I rolled a 5.
Uh-oh.
I got an 11.
Oh,
Calvin's so busy trying to build this raft.
16 for Roland and a 14 for Lulu. But she's flying. Does that matter?
So I can say, yeah, she would probably be out of the way since she's kind of like hovering up above.
Ooh, I'm gonna use my reaction to activate my Flash of Genius, so I get a +4 to that. So that gives me a 15.
Nice. 15 is the number.
yes!
And so if you got below a 15, you will take 15 poison damage.
Poison. Don't forget you resistant to that, Naseem.
I'm resistant to that. So what does that mean? Do I
So
take
you only
half
take
or
7.
You only, yeah. So you'll take 7 instead. Being a dwarf.
Poison don't bother me none.
yeah? And I have Indomitable, so I got to reroll that save, and I rolled 2 4s.
Sexy. And Melody.
Team Air Squad. Okay. I would like, if possible, to try and move to the chains on the other side. So if El Terrell, these chains don't break, it doesn't go like this, and then all the people fall off and die. So I would like to.
It doesn't Titanic.
Yeah, I would like to go. Now that we've done 2 next to each other, I'll be like, oh, and then
Thank God it's the wizard.
and then I'm gonna go across to the other ones. And basically, yeah, I imagine I have to use all my movement and everything just to.
Yeah, I would say it's gonna take like a minute or two flying full force, or like it's gonna take about a minute flying full force because it's like a mile across.
So okay, so I can move 240 feet. So I guess instead of wasting a minute, I don't know, but you also said we're kind of in narrative combat.
Yeah.
How long
So,
does
yeah,
haste
so-
last, though?
Yeah, well, also, if we're in narrative combat, I wouldn't have cast haste, because that's only a minute.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't use my arms in there. I don't know.
You can take it back if you like.
Okay, maybe we'll just take it back, and then we'll just fly very fast. Because if I have you with me, then I can move 180 feet anyway, and we'll just do this. We'll just
Yeah, I'm
do
just
this.
ready to
Okay.
dump, man.
All right. We're just get ready, dump. We'll do those big dumps, and just big tasty dumps. That's us, living our best lives in the air. Celestial and Shadow Monk.
It's not a shadow monk.
Doing a big dump. Oh, what kind of monk are you?
Astral, so.
Astral. Astral and Celestial. Ooh, 2 planes of existence. When they team up, amazing things happen.
Oh, definitely.
All right, we flying.
We flying. We doing the blood bucket.
We do the blood.
In a geometrically responsible fashion.
We're a fucking mess.
I know.
You
I'm
go
sorry.
you gotta go in a star formation.
Yeah. I am still a wizard. A wizard is somewhere in here, and she's screaming about the geometry. So.
Kaylee's like yelling, like, but that one's closer.
No. They
Roland.
must be even.
Team on the ground. How would you all like to spend your next minute?
So Calvin
After-
has basically found a piece of material. It's that not quite wood, but this spongy flesh stuff that floats as a raft, and has kind of pushed it out into the river Styx. Overhead, these flying demons breathe this noxious gas down at us, and Roland takes like ineffectual swing, chasing them away kind of thing. And he'll say, "Get on!" and jump onto the raft with the rest of his companions. And he'll say, I need a moment. And crouch down with his holy symbol that he has shoved between his arm and his shield. He pulls it free and holds it to his mouth and whispers to it this soft prayer to Kelemvor. And he's going to cast Water Walk on everyone.
Hell yeah.
Just in case this thing tips over, maybe we can stay above the liquid, because that's his main fear right now. And it can target up to 10 people. So I'm going to have it target Lulu, Roland, Calvin, and Heronius. And he'll say,
maybe Kelemvor will smile on us a little longer.
And stand at the back of this raft where these winged things keep swooping down to try and breathe this poison onto them. Lulu is actually fast as fuck, and I didn't realize it. When she flies, she's 120 feet per round, and she can dash for 240. But she is also made of paper mache at the moment, so she is going to stick right over the raft, flapping these wings and trying to pull us a little bit faster. And she's going to cast... God, I don't want to waste this, but also I think that everyone loves Lulu, right? But is she going to waste it? No, she's not going to waste it. She's going to use Cure Wounds on herself again. And
I can heal up Lulu some more.
She gets 11 more for that, actually. And that brings her up to 25 by our combined efforts over these past few minutes as we run for our lives and jump onto this raft.
Lulu, are you okay?
Yes. Feeling almost better. Yeah, pretty much.
See, and everyone is mad at the angel, but she's fine. She's fine.
So, having had this moment and the swiftness of this raft deteriorates in this slurry of sloshing water with demons crawling underneath us, Roland will say,
how do we paddle? Don't touch it. Don't touch the water.
You're muted, Calvin. But yes, how do you paddle, Calvin?
Okay. So, Appa is, not an organic creature. So, I'm gonna twist a few dials and flip a couple switches inside of Appa's back, and then I'm gonna so I can cast haste on Appa.
Nice.
And then I'm gonna have Appa hop out the back of the raft and then proceed to like bite onto the back of it and then doggy paddle with all of his robo-dog might.
Didn't you say he sounded like a whale today?
He does, yeah. He still sounds like a
foreshadowing is
whale
real.
from last week. Yeah. So that's so we've got a corgi paddle boat situation happening.
Bless, take a point of inspiration.
Ah.
That's so great.
Sweet.
You're blessed. This side is blessed.
And then I think that's gonna be it. Do I have a bonus action? No, nothing for now.
Heronius, you see that another band of these demons of devils that are running towards you with their snake beards and their metal plate.
We're just gonna do another round of Thunder Wave, but at the second level because we're just trying to keep them back.
Mm-hmm.
I had a secret hope, Naseem, and when I said, "How are we going to paddle?" you would have shouted, "Thunder Wave!" But this works so much better.
Oh god.
Big bursts
Uh,
of movement.
Admirable.
Yeah. I mean, I imagine just the force of the Thunder Wave gives us just an ever so subtle boost in our paddling, but mostly pushes them back. So yeah, another con save of 15, please.
They fail.
Woohoo! Suck on that. Oh, goodness.
You tell him.
Very good.
You tell him, Heronius.
Thanks. Oh, very good. That's, say that again. 16 thunder damage, please.
Oh, nice. And so they take this huge hit, and you, as another thunder wave erupts from the tip of your sword as you all get onto this makeshift raft, and you see Apple's little stumpy legs starting to push, and your thunder wave just whoosh allows you to immediately go and just jut forward, and you see Apple's little legs start to kick in a furious frenzy as you all are pushed into the river, and you see these these devils fly back again as they all kind of shake their swords and spears at you.
And stay there.
Yes.
And then it is at this point that you see the Krokatoic goes towards the second chain and breaks that one through, sniffing around furiously for the next drop of blood. And seeing El Terrell jostle again, you have caught the attention of Zariel as she stealthily jumps into the air and hovers above this battlefield, slicing through these rocks that are encircling you all. And she sees your little scheme. And it is as if time slows to a gelatinous halt.
Is she casting time stop, or is this one of those things? Because I have counterspell ready. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
She is effectively casting time stop.
I don't want that. So I'm gonna cast counterspell.
She counterspells your counterspell.
That's fair, but I like that she doesn't have that spell slot anymore.
And you,
Sorry. I'm not sorry.
it's good. It's good. And so it is, you reach out to stop this, and she just deflects it with this hammer as you send your magic towards her, and everything else crawls to a stop, and it is just you all. And she hovers over to meet Melody, Team Air Squad, Melody and Kaylee. Well, you have certainly caught my attention. This booming voice whispers to you. Perhaps we can come to a simpler accord. You are all reasonable people.
I make that sound.
And she goes and she lands on the edge of El Terrell. She sits with her legs dangling over the edge. You desire to free this pitiful lot of souls?
Yes. No soul is pitiable or beyond redemption, except perhaps yours.
Kaylee's just like stunned into silence, holding this stupid fucking bucket.
Yeah. I have the Sword of Zariel. There's no way she does not see me holding the Sword of Zariel while I say this, by the way.
She knows.
Everyone here I'm just making sure everybody knows what's happening.
And so you can all hear this conversation, and she will wait for you to paddle to the other side of the river if that's what you continue to do. And then she will go and stand next to you. And this towering 12-foot form, these dark, tragic eyes, and this halo of fire that surrounds her head. I find it admirable that you would try and save all these souls. She kind of nods in appreciation. What if, in exchange for all of these freed people, for the allowance that L Terrell may return to its place on the material plane, that I would receive in exchange for this Gargas here, as she points to the shield of the hidden lord, my sword that Melody is brandishing, and this one's soul. You see, as she points a gauntleted finger at Roland. I only require these 3 things, and I will dissolve the contract binding L Terrell to Avernus. And all of these souls will be relinquished from my command.
You can't have Roland.
You clearly offer us this deal because you are afraid. You are afraid that we have come here into the heart of your place and succeeded thus far, and you know we will continue to succeed. That is why you offer us this cowardly deal.
You call it cowardly. I call it being a savvy businesswoman.
Well, the one inside me gave up much to get here, to face you. So, we are set in our course. Though, the one inside also cares for these companions. So, what do you all think? She is forcing me to listen.
No. I'm not doing it. Why not take mine instead? Why his?
I would be willing to accept yours, perhaps. Perhaps yours and the dwarfs, instead of Roland's. But Roland Belran Dan Cadril. He is a valiant soul, and those souls fetch a high price and are highly coveted in this realm.
That's unsurprising because Roland is a treasure.
Quite.
But
In more senses than one.
This one screams to remind you, Roland, from somewhere inside, that this one knows what it is to not have a soul and asks that you do not give yours up.
Roland is not very good with people and grandiose shows. He's crass and loud. He's forceful and vengeful, and he knows that. But I think in this moment, where all of these promises have been made, he swore a promise to Anthias. He swore a promise to Lulu, one to M. He swore one to Kaylee, that he would pull her out of hell, kicking and screaming if need be. And Roland has this moment where he's going to speak to Zariel as though he were the person he needed to hear in his dark days, right? And he'll say,
Zariel,
and pull off this helmet. It's still covered in scraps of cloth, so it doesn't blind everybody. And his bald head is covered in sweat, soot, and dust, and probably pieces of toenail. And he'll say,
How far have you really fallen? You look at Lulu.
and he gestures to this mount that she rode into battle.
You know Anthias loves you still. He brought us here to speak to you, to save these people. You see your weapon
He points to Melody.
that you use to defend people. Is there nothing inside you?
I would like you to make a persuasion check with advantage.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Bless is only attack rolls, right?
It's saving throws.
I'll take a picture.
Is it natural 20? Please tell me it's natural.
It is. It is one.
I turn
me-
on the disco mace and I
Let me
wave it like
stop
it's a concert.
crying real fast and take a
Yeah.
picture.
I was like, it's either a 1 or a 20. I'm not sure.
I can't sit in my chair anymore.
I got a 6 and I got a 20. So total for a persuasion check is a 25. It's the absolute best I got. He takes the shield and he like, I'm imagining that he would hold it up and you would be like,
This is what tempts you, not what's left.
And Melody, the sword of Zariel begins to wrench itself from your grip. And no matter what you try to do, it manages to escape as it soars straight to Zariel and hovers just arm's length in front of her. And you see she reaches out a trembling hand to grasp the hilt. And you see, for just this most delicate, perfect second, her fingers just graze against this radiant celestial runes engraved on the sword. And you see tears begin to stream down her cheeks. And Lulu goes and descends right next to Zariel and plops her big elephant butt down on the ground and says, I knew you always had it in you. And Anthias emerges from the other side of the river and he kneels before her, sticks his sword into the ground and says, I sacrificed myself knowing what you had become, that I never wanted to see what you became. And you pulled me out of this river for a reason. And I want to believe it is for this moment. And Zariel, choking back this raw emotion, and she reaches her hand and grasps the sword. I, Zariel, supplicate myself before the holy light of justice, if it should accept me. I vow to take up this blade again in its service and remember my original purpose. And you see her very words hang in the air before her as she takes this oath, and they burn with this searing light. And you see that she becomes washed in the light of her words, and it burns this devilish visage from her, transforming her back into her original form. And you see that the chains tethering L Terrell to Avernus turn into ash. You see the devils around her who were in her command fall to nothingness as time begins to slowly speed back up again. And you see that the large dome of black light that encompassed El Tyrell crackles and breaks and falls to pieces as it becomes incinerated with holy radiance. And emerging from it, you see this green-skinned angelic figure take to the skies as almost a sun is born in Avernus. And all of the demons disappear.
Hallelujah!
And there is a quiet ripple as a breeze drifts across the sands. She motions you all that she'll lend you a hand to step up onto El Terrell.
Kaylee turns back and kind of like slowly looks up at M to see if it's M or if it's Melody.
Yeah, who knows what's happening?
Melody is still Melody, though the sword has been redeemed and returned to its original owner. The transformation is permanent.
She turns back and just covers her face in one hand, but just starts walking forward.
Hero leaps onto Roland's back, like piggyback styles. Like, oh my god, that was amazing! Yes, brother, use your words! Praise Roland!
So I'm imagining like it's like he's run too far and too fast, like he can't catch his breath, that lean on your knees to try and breathe better sort of thing. And the hero lands on him and he like topples halfway forward and catches himself on his palms. And he'll say,
I never thought that would work. I never thought that would work.
You're really as good at everybody.
We can't hear you.
We can kind of hear you because you're so excited.
and that energy was so good.
And Appa, like run towards the hero Roland, like half pile and like dog piles into both of you all. Calvin is just kind of like hooting and yelling and
Roland's just got like tears, fat tears dripping off of his cheeks and his chin, and he's trying to wipe it on his gauntlet, but it's metal is just smearing this streaky mark, and it's not all happy. Like he sees that Melody is still there.
Dario, is there
Yes.
anyone, I don't know how it works where you come from, but here you can make deals with people. Is there anyone who we can make a deal with to get our friend back?
As I know it is said upon the dais where the sword was stowed, to become a hero requires the sacrifice of oneself. That was a very real cost to become powerful, to bear the mantle that it takes to save lives, to fight for those who cannot fight for themselves. You must become greater than yourself. You must dissolve the ego. This is permanent, and no manner of divine intervention nor magic can change this.
We are not afraid, friends. We are honored. We carried the sword where it needed to go. This redemption was worth the price, as any soul's redemption is worth the price. So,
Your soul didn't need to be redeemed. It was stolen. But
It should have been somebody else. But you're a child, so you made a bad decision.
we are now ageless and filled with knowledge and names and wisdom from beyond this world.
Shut up, lady. And Kaylee just like stalks forward and she's like, I'm going to stay here. Whatever, you guys can go back. I'm sure Zariel has some way to take you back. I'm gonna go find that unicorn and set it free, and I'm gonna just get these feelings out of me and wreak havoc across hell. I'm not going back. This is not what I wanted for any of us.
Well, to be quite honest, we no longer have a place on the material plane. We would be honored to help you fight through hell, if you will have us. Perhaps some kind of balance can be struck between melody and this malady you seem so fond of.
And Kaylee kind of like looks down at her pouch and like pats where she knows the book is that Malady had given her. And she's like, well, maybe if I can see glimpses of my friend again, then that would be okay.
This is new. We are negotiating it day by day, and I suspect it will continue to be a negotiation as we grow and live.
Okay.
Zariel will kneel down before you, Kaylee, and she will say, take it from me. I think you might be the wiser of us, but bear the knowledge of my experience. This place corrupts. Do not let it taint what goodness is inside you. I wish for you to take this. Take a vacation to the material plane when things seem too dark. And she will pawn you off. She'll pluck a single feather from her wings as it glints with this iridescent light. If you ever sick for home, it will take you immediately there. But for the rest of you, who, I'm sure, desire to go home. And she gestures to this green-skinned angelic being. Are you well enough to travel? I know you've been trapped in there for quite some time. And echoing out from this creature, you just hear resounding, yes. I am ready when you are ready to depart.
Well, I guess this is goodbye for you two. Please be careful. Like the angel lady said, don't spend too much time down here. I know you might be a little mad at yourself for some of the things you've done, but believe me, I've run away from my own mistakes, and Roland here just showed me that words can really fix a bad situation. So I think I'm gonna head back and try and fix my own kingdom. I left my family in shambles, and wasn't really fair for me to just run away from that. So remember that you're still needed up there, and you have friends up there worried about you, and we want to see you soon. So don't be gone too long, you two.
Be sure to
Give you
eat
both
your
a hug.
vegetables.
Yeah.
Go to bed on time.
Wear dry socks.
I'm just getting used to the shoes, so I'll get there one day. And she runs up and she gives her shorty friend a big, like, weirdly strong hug for this little tiny lady. And she's like, well, if you figure out a way to get like a ladder to hell and you need help with anything, I have a magic feather now, apparently. So just let me know.
I shall never forget your names. They have a place in my heart.
Not supposed to. It's not supposed to end like this. We're all supposed to go back, and we're gonna be heroes, and then we can have dinner and over my family shop, and we'll just go back. Can't. Oh shit.
I'm staring at you with my silvery pools of true sight and angel eyes, so not of a
Your
material
true sight
world.
sees big feelings in Calvin's body right now.
That aura is wrecked.
It's
Mhm.
wow, it's feelings.
Yeah, so many.
Kaylee is like, I'm really gonna miss having someone as excited about everything as you in my life, especially because I'm going to be hanging out with her for so long.
That's okay. I'm gonna figure out how to send letters. I'm gonna figure that out. I'll
If
build
anyone
that
can.
when I get back, and then we can at least be pen pals until you come back, because you're gonna come back. You've got a magic feather now that's from that other angel, and there's lots of angels. And okay, we'll see you back in Baldur's Gate, both of you.
Okay. Tell your dad I say hi.
Yeah, I will.
Indeed.
You're gonna miss Appa.
I will miss that good boy. Both
will
could be
try.
good boys.
Okay, let's see if I can get through this. Roland, when he extricates himself from this dog pile, will walk up to this angelic creature that used to be him, and he'll say, "You're in there," and tap your armored chest. "You're in there.
I knew it.
And he scoops up your arms and your big, feathery, dumb wings,
Oh.
and he crushes you into this hug.
There's an auto
And he says
reaction of
Yeah. And he says it 5, 6 more times.
You're in there, You are.
And like, when he lets go, he basically falls onto Kaylee and scoops her up and presses her head against his neck. It just stays
Roland, I love you. And she wraps her arms around his neck and she's like, you're the closest thing to family that I've had in a really, really, really long time. And you always know exactly what everyone needs. And I'm going to have to come back because I got used to it. So I'm going to come see you again at some point.
He leans back to arm's length and he says in this kind of warm, low voice,
I love you.
You're such a treasure.
he stands and he fixes the little curl in your hair. Boop.
I'll see you soon.
Mm-hmm. And she just like pats his kneecap and she's like, we'll go because I need to punch something really hard and I don't want it to be you guys. So just go home and sleep in a nice bed and eat lots of food and I'll see you later.
Go find the guts, ladies. They'll keep you travel together, and then the bus is back there too. And here's the parts for both of them, for that and for the motorcycle. You could probably figure it out. I could draw. Hang on. Wait. Before we go, I'll draw a diagram. I'll tell you how to put it back together. As Calvin stalls for time.
Melody,
and
that's all you.
breaks out a notebook
Yeah, no,
and
Melody
starts drawing
yeah,
pictures.
takes the parts and is like holding them on her giant body, like and putting them on her back and tying them to her bag.
There's that moment where you're kind of taking stuff and he keeps rattling on, and then just the hand like on the shoulder.
I need to go. Buddies.
Okay, Calvin. We'll see them soon.
Okay. Just this side up, okay? And he draws a couple arrows real quick and gives you this like stack of hastily drawn
That is
instructions.
very helpful, Calvin. Thank you.
She is still in there, Roland. Damn it.
Well, if you all have said your goodbyes, and Zariel nods to the Planetar, who is trapped inside the companion. And you see that they step on to the gently lapping waters of the river Styx. And they proceed to take up the mound of El Terrell on their shoulders. And you all feel this distorting, warping sensation as you are teleported, leaving Kaylee and Melody on the banks. After some inscrutable amount of time, you see the river Kyanthar, a wonderful anchor for home, and it shines like a golden road stretching out to Baldur's Gate. And as the earth settles with a rock and a tilt and a gentle quake back into its home, people begin to edge carefully outside of toppled buildings, ramshackle churches, what's left of the fortress that you cleansed and saved from being desecrated. And they all come out to greet their heroes as they begin piecing back together what's left of their lives. And Zariel turns to all of you, and she plucks out a handful more of feathers, and she says, I am truly, eternally grateful to you all for your selflessness, what you have done. If you should ever need aid, just send a prayer. And she hands each of you a feather. And Lulu comes in with her massive trunk and scoops you all up into this warm, golden hug. And she says, I'm gonna miss you all. I hope it's not gonna be too long.
You can come and see us anytime you like, friend. Now, big friend. And I give big scratches behind Lulu's giant elephant ears.
Oh yeah, and she just wriggles furiously, does this happy wagging dog, motion just with the full body, and you feel this ripple of fur underneath your hands. She kind of shudders. And she passes back to you with her trunk. The joint that you gave her.
They don't do that in heaven. They don't do that. Have it back.
It's not really my thing, but I appreciate the gesture.
Oh, well, thanks for holding on to it for me.
And Zariel pats her large mammoth friend on the back and says, well, to home then. Lulu nods. Very excited.
Roland will come up to Lulu as they mount up to do whatever. And will take her trunk. Now it's this big instead of the little thing he's used to touching. Like someone's calf or someone's thigh.
Yeah, definitely.
And he'll still wiggle it the same way he did before. And he will take this steel disc, his little holy symbol of Kelemvor, and he'll around her trunk and be like,
Maybe you can hold on to this for me. Return it the next time you see me.
And she pats you with her trunk. She says, okay, Roland, you were the nicest person to me. Even when I felt stupid because I couldn't remember anything, you were always so supportive. And I'll always remember that.
Roland, it breaks. Kaylee's not there. He doesn't have to be strong for her. Melody's not there. He doesn't have to be strong to avoid the vicious gaze if Melody's really behind those silvery eyes. And he'll just wipe at her head and give that knowing nod to Zariel.
And she nods back at you. And you see she hops back up onto Lulu's back and gives her a kind of a kick in the sides. And you see that they take off as they disappear into the warmth of the sun. And you all hear as Slobber Chops heads out from one of the buildings.
There he is, buddy.
Missing an eye, looking extra snarl-toothed. Got a piece of demon arm in his mouth.
Someone get that cat a fucking pudding cup.
And that's...
I won't lie. I forgot you were here.
And that's where we're gonna finish this campaign.
Oh my god!
We did it!
We went to hell and back, everyone.
Not everyone.
In a hot air balloon.
The 20 gave me an instant headache.
Yeah.
I feel like I have a conch shell rattling around where my brain should be.
Too much adrenaline all at once.
Too much blood pressure. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
What a
Wow.
moment. God.
This has been spectacular. Going into this, I had no fucking clue what you all were gonna do, how you were going to resolve this, but this ended in the best way possible. Thank you to all of my extraordinary role players.
Thank you, DM, putting
Thanks, Sage.
toenails in my life and not even making me hate you. Like,
Yeah.
that's
And I
skill.
liked it. Weird.
Mhm.
I'll
God.
miss the toenail?
Oh, gross.
Oh, this has been wonderful, and we will be back in 2 weeks on the 29th to do a live Q&A stream with you all. So if you've got questions, you can come and ask them. We've got some good ones that we've collected from our Discord community and on Twitter already, and I look forward to hearing all of your inner thoughts.
Also, my dear friend, the viewer, in 2 weeks, we will be giving away a copy of Descent
this game.
into Avernus.
So you can do this to your players too.
So you can
Don't you
do it to
want
them
this?
too, and see all the cool art. Watch me not open it up to art. Yeah, cool art.
Yeah. Oh, I like
Yes,
how you
this
picked
is
up the scab citadel of the art piece to show.
Fucking nasty.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
so
Sage.
gross.
The Mad Maggie mini is over there by you. Can you like show that off? Because that's.
Are we gonna give that away too?
Yeah.
During that? Oh my god,
Hell
you all
yeah.
have to come to the Q&As because we're gonna be giving away some.
We'll do 2 giveaways. Paul painted up this Mad Maggie miniature.
We're not quite
Really,
getting
I'll
it, but we'll
take-
take photos and we will
Yeah,
post
I'll
it
take
on
photos
social
and
media.
we'll post them up before the Q&A this
Oh,
week.
yes.
Or next whenever.
There
Yes.
you go. Oh, there you go. There's a guy on a cross. That's
That's
awesome.
Harmon.
There we
That's
go.
Harmon.
Oh,
You all didn't
God.
see him. He's one
On
of Zariel's
spikes.
other generals. He
Um,
got turned into a vampire.
You know what?
Unfortunate.
I'm just ready for this buddy cop show where Kaylee and Melody,
Yeah.
just deal with.
We'll-
Melody's like
we'll do
the crazy one who loves the law, and then
Oh,
The
yeah.
wild
It's a perfect
rogue.
setup for a spinoff.
Kaylee doesn't
Oh,
play by
it's
the
perfect.
rules, that kind of cop.
Yeah,
So there we
Kaylee's
go.
totally a loose cannon who
Kaylee's
can't be
the
loose
reined in.
I'm
And
the
then their
lawyer.
animal companion turns as a unicorn.
Yeah.
That's why I'm a monk, because I had to turn in my gun and my badge.
Yeah, so I'm a monk now. I'm on my own. We're gonna get that unicorn. We're gonna get Moonchild or whatever, and
Oh
it's
my
gonna be the best
God.
cop show.
We're gonna
Yeah.
we'll do some one shots of all those encounters that we
Ass
never
kicking.
saw.
Yeah, when Celeste and I just really need a good D&D fight. Like,
We'll
just like, all right, let's do some
chunk in
combat.
here.
We gotta kick ass and take names.
I'm ready. My
Oh,
body is
man.
All right,
ready.
friends. I have been your storyteller, Sage.
Hello, it's me, Celeste Conowitch. I have been your angel/tiefling wizard, M/Melody/Melody.
Hello, everybody. I'm JB. I'm also at Drop the Die everywhere you can find me. And I have been playing Lord Roland Belran Dan Cadrill.
The war cleric of Kalimvor.
Hello, I'm Katie. I've been playing Kaylee Bramblebarrel, and them devils better watch out. Dab.
Oh God.
Wait, how do you dab? I
Wait,
forgot.
how do you
Wait, I'm
dab?
sorry. Oh, that one? There we go.
I have a teenage brother.
I think that was a swan dive, but
No, it's good.
this is Naseem, and I've been playing your inspired dwarven fighter, Hieronius Dohard.
Oh, I'm Paul Harpering, and I got nothing. I've been playing Calvin, though. Calvin Coleridge, Fire Genasi Artificer, inventor of the Allied Patrol Protection Automaton, River of Stygies, Rafter, Hot Infernal Hell, Hot Balloonist. Yeah. Ingenious inventor. Thanks.
Oh.
And you know what you should do.
Oh wait, you're muted. You have
You're
to do it
muted.
again.
And you know what you should do until next time, friends.
Venture
Venture to
But
hell!
don't, because it's bad here. Don't.
Don't
Ookie.
do it!
Venture
The toenails.
elsewhere.
Goodbye.